Hello, this is your Representative Party podcast, and I'm just John. And I've got a couple of subjects I'm going to cover quickly here, and I hope it gives you some insight. The name of the podcast is It's Your Vote and It's Your Money. I'm going to talk about your money first, because it kind of goes out to everybody throughout the whole listening area, which is actually the world. So, hello world. Anyway, you need to look at this election, this federal election, as somebody who's takes care of your finances, your financial person. And who do you want? Who do you want to take your money and invest it where you want it to be? Now, I don't know. I mean, you hear them say all kinds of things. There's new things coming up every day. The $6,000 child care thing. I don't know. I'm okay with it. But where's the money? Both these candidates talk like, I'm going to give you this and I'm going to give you that, but they're giving them our money. So I'm not sure that's quite the way I'd handle it. We as a country are going to provide any kind of child care or health care or any kind of student loan care or any of that kind of stuff. These politicians aren't going to do it. Now, they may be able to do it because we put them in there, but if they're not spending our money the way we want to, then we need to put somebody in there who will. And hence, that's why I'm trying to get this representative party started, so we have actual representatives that are willing to go in, willing to compromise, willing to talk to each other, willing not to scream and yell and threaten and do all kinds of dumb stuff, or to even make stuff up about each other. So that's when you're at the booth, and I know most of you have probably already voted. I'm not a big absentee voting guy unless it's for the military or a pretty good reason. But I guess there's so many of us, they have to fit it in some way. Maybe we ought to have a voting week. But force you to vote in person. I think it'd be a lot easier to identify the person as a U.S. citizen if you can actually see them, see their address. I don't know. I'd like to trust everybody, but I just really don't. So just if you still have to go to the poll, just think for yourself. Who's my guy or my gal that's going to take care of my money? I've got all this, whatever money I have, I'm going to send it to them. Matter of fact, I just got my taxes just the other day, and I'm personally outraged by it, but I don't really know exactly what to do. It just keeps getting more and more, and it seems like the government's giving back less and less to those that are paying those taxes. So we need to think about that. On the other side of this thing, it's your money, but I also want you to know that it's your vote. And if you're listening to the 5 or the 30-second or the 45-second little blips that the news is giving you and saying this and saying that, and I can tell you, every one of them, almost 100% of them, are wrong. They're either lying, they're misrepresenting them, whatever it is. I don't care what side you're on. I really don't. It just doesn't matter. But I would like to talk to people that are in Missouri, and a lot of other states have these exact same things going on. So if you're from another state, please don't leave right now. But we have several amendments, and one of our amendments, probably the biggest one, is on the abortion law within Missouri and how horrible it is. And it does need to be lightened up a little bit, I believe. But I also want you to know that in the bill, or in the Third Amendment, that they want to add, this sentence includes but not limited to is in there. So and then it lists all the things that most of the people want. All the things that most on either side Most of them could compromise in there someplace and be happy. But that's not how they wrote it. They wrote it to try to catch us because they think we're stupid, you know? And this includes, but not limited to, it writes down all the things that you want to hear, or some people want to hear, but it leaves out this includes, but not limited to. And that not limited to could mean a lot of things. It could mean, you know, paying for sex change operations for guys that are in prison. I don't believe that's a great idea, personally. You know, it could say it could possibly, you know, we would think this wouldn't happen here in our country or in our state, but like a child could go and decide that it wants to go through all this radical sex change stuff when they're too young to even understand where they are in life. You know, a male, doesn't even get his full brain capacity, is my understanding, until he's 25. Well, I beg to differ. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that old. I don't think it's that young. I think it's older than that. I'm still waiting. So the point is, you got to read these things. It's fine. It's fine how you want to vote it, but make sure you're voting when you vote on these things that you know that this could put boys in your daughter's locker room. This could put boys competing against you, against your daughters. Now you say, that's not going to happen, you know. Well, right there, it's in the law or it's in the amendment that they can do it, because they're not going to limit it to anything. There's no limits on it. So that's just Amendment 3 you could think about. On our Second Amendment that's up there, it has to do with state online gambling or gaming betting, and it says it's proposed that there's a 10% on wagering to support education. Now, if any of you are as old as I am, you remember when we got our first river boats here in Missouri. There was a huge deal about how much this education was going to boost our education, and we're one of the lowest in the country still. And what they did was they certainly did give money from the boats or from the gambling to the education, but they took what they were given to the education out of the general fund. So they didn't get a boost. They just had somebody else paying the bill. So they outright lied to us, and they're lying to us again. But you know, this whole thing about how much money this gaming betting is going to get to the schools, and I am trying to hurry here, folks. What it actually says is after that they proposed 10% on wagering to support education, but only after wagering tax revenue. After the wagering tax revenue has been appropriated to reimburse the expenses. Now, whose expenses are we talking about? Are we talking about the, Harrah's and Bally's and those people there? Is that their expenses that we're going to reimburse before the school gets any money? Now, I don't care. You can vote any way you want to. I'm not necessarily against that. But I'm against lying, and I'm against treachery. I'm against people trying to manipulate you and me. That's what ticks me off. And so voting for it, that's fine. But you should know that it's that there's the way they word these things. You have to be very careful. You don't have to read them because you got 30 seconds of somebody on TV telling you exactly what it says. Well, that's a lie. Okay. People are lying to you, and you just will get used to it. Somewhere along the line, Americans are going to have to start reading again and doing their own research instead of looking at, some of those crazies that are on TV and guys like me that are online. You need to make up your own mind. In Missouri, we have an Amendment 5, and it talks about putting a river boat and a casino or something down on the Osage River by the Lake of the Ozarks. Well, I like the Lake of the Ozarks the way it is, and either way, I'm probably not going to be any skin off my nose because I don't go there that often. But they also say they're going to employ 7,000 people. You know, we can't find people to take care of the stuff we have now. They don't have enough people working at the lake right now. Where are they going to get 7,000 people? And where are they going to house them? That's just crazy. They just tell you that because everybody's thinking employment and all this kind of stuff. Well, if you've been out recently in the last, really since COVID, then at least just about every place is hiring somebody. Okay, I don't know where everybody went. I don't think that many people died that we lost all these young people or the younger people that would do these jobs. And when you look at Amendment 6, and it talks about the law enforcement retirement. Well, it's already been decided by the Missouri Supreme Court. So I don't even know why that's on there. And but I am a big fan of good law enforcement retirement because, man, there aren't enough people wanting to do this, and we don't have enough good people doing it. And on Amendment 7, does this make sense to anybody? It says that this Amendment 7 is to make sure non-citizens don't vote. Well, what does that mean? Is that already the law, that non-citizens don't vote? Jeez, I mean, why do we have to have that law? If it's already a law, they already check your ID, although it's probably easier for somebody to vote illegally than it is for a 14-year-old to go get a tattoo, even though they need permission. So I don't know. It's just some of this stuff confuses me, and it also states something about some kind of privileged vote or something like that. I don't know. It's this whole we're doing this so non-citizens are prohibited from voting. Wow. And then we also have a Proposition A. Every state is going through this type of deal, and this is to fix the minimum wage up to $15. Now I have a hard time personally with this one here, but raising the minimum wage is not going to solve our problems, especially those people that are on a fixed income. That just means that corporate that's going to pump all their guys up to $15, they're either going to fire some. Maybe that's where some of the 7,000 people will come from down in the Ozarks. Think about that: 7,000 more $15 an hour jobs. What's a room going to cost you there? It's going to be a fortune. So, I want people to get a wage and a wage that they can live off of, but I'm not sure working at a McDonald's drive-thru, and I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody, but actually I'm not. If you think working through a drive-thru should be your goal in life and you should be able to buy that mansion on the hill by working through a drive-thru, well, I'm sorry. That isn't the way it works. I want you to be able to live. I want you to be able to pay rent. I want you to be able to buy a home if possible. But I worked all my life, and I never bought that home on the hill. So, and this is it's just everybody's going to pay more if the people who are running the businesses have to pay $15. And what about mom and pop places? You got a place where there's, where they got 3 employees and they barely were able to keep the doors open, and now you're going to make them do $15. Well, how are they even going to keep the place open and pay their electric bill and pay all the other bills? That's just insane. So with that, I'm going to shut her down and just let you know, hey, be kind to each other and love one another. Just love one another. This is Just John, and I'll see you next time.